Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging podcast discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Mike D'Ambrosio, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series, and I have a great guest. This is Mike D'Ambrosio with Real Estate Radio Live, and Cindy Carey from Starburst Construction is in the studio today recording. How you doing, Cindy?
Good.
Good.
Happy holidays.
Thank you for coming on. Yeah, we're getting close to Christmas.
The countdown.
Yeah, hopefully you get all your shopping done and all that good stuff. But before we get into the show, we have a ton to get to today. Cindy always comes with a wealth of information and healthy list of notes. So we're
lots of words.
We're going to be talking about 2017 trends in the construction and construction industry, basically.
Yeah, well,
and
in
design,
home design.
In home design, yeah.
Right.
So a lot of good stuff, but always great information and education on Real Estate Radio Live, where you guys are accustomed to what we do here at Real Estate Radio Live, providing you guys all the fun stuff real estate related. You can download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or simply go to RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com, or you can download our app, the RE Radio Live app.
How do you spell that?
What?
R-E?
R-E, as in the letters. Thank you. As in real estate, Cindy.
Awesome.
And
just checking.
If you have any questions, you can always email Mike at RERadiolive.com. That's Mike at RERadiolive.com. You can always text in questions, 408-630-0101. And we have a blog on RERadiolive.com. So if you haven't heard me say RERadiolive.com enough in the beginning of the show, then
you'll say it at the end?
I'll say it at the end. All right, Cindy, so why don't you, I know a lot of people that used to listen to the live show, I'm sure have heard your voice before, and but
hello.
For a little bit of background information, why don't you give us some information on Starburst Construction and what you guys do there?
So we have our family-owned construction company. We've been in business for 40 years in Silicon Valley, and we build custom homes and remodel whole houses. One of our specialties are Eichlers, and we also like to do a lot of energy efficiency work to help our clients, to help the environment and our clients save energy.
Isn't that wonderful of you?
Isn't that? It is so nice.
Let's go hug a tree later.
Yeah.
Together.
Okay, together. Definitely. So that's part of what we'll talk about. Where are those trends going, right? Because everybody always asks what's going on with solar.
Yeah.
Where are the rebates? So we'll talk about that. But all things construction, our goal is to have clients for life and beyond, because our children will be taking over the business. So
all right.
We want people to become part of our family.
Good. So what do we have a lot to get to today. 2017 trends, housing new versus remodel.
Yeah, so what do you think about that? I mean, I wanted to get your opinion on that. So what I saw is they say that new construction, meaning building from the plot of land up, will be going up 10%.
Yeah. Well, I think, I would agree. There's, as far as permits go, there's been a lot of uptick in permits, and I mean, everyone's busy. Contractors are so busy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I think, I would agree that it's going to go up. I mean, just in Silicon Valley alone, there's tons of projects that are approved right now. It's just a matter to see which ones get built and how quickly. So, I think it's going to be good. And
they say remodeling is even going to surpass that. So it's going to be like at about 17%. So, which makes sense, right? Because we have so much existing inventory that's old, that needs
updating.
Yeah, exactly. So, or people just are bored with their design, or
right, and they can't maybe afford to move or don't want to move, so they just rather.
That was one of the statistics when I was looking at this that I was really surprised that during the last downturn, I guess what do they call them? The Gen Xers, is that right? Or the Millennials? Wait.
Well, Millennials are, that's...
Wait, what did I write
Gen
down?
Xers are coming up as the new home buyers, so you're probably thinking Boomers?
No. Okay, so the building design for Boomers is, of course, everybody's doing universal design. But the I guess the Gen Xers and Millennials, somewhere in there, they got kind of hit. And I don't know what you've seen by the downturn. So that's like 31 to 50 was the age range. So, and I have one child that's in that age range and one that's not. And we were kind of comparing the two different groups and who was able to buy houses and who has not been able to. And some of them that were coming out of college and things like that had loans and things like that to pay for. They didn't have the down payment to buy a house, or they bought it and then they got hit with the downturn, you know, and so they had some harder financial times. So hopefully, I don't know, you know, what you've heard, but hopefully maybe the market's getting to where some of them can get into a house.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that age range you're talking about includes both, basically, millennials and baby boomers. So
baby boomers too, really.
Probably the younger.
Yeah, because I think I'm the young end of the baby boomers.
The young end,
yeah.
I was going to say lower end.
Yes, I'm the lower end of the baby boomers. We like that.
That's not what I meant.
So anyway, so one of the things that people are really focusing on is health, nature, bringing nature and, you know, the green and oxygen and all of that good stuff.
I wasn't expecting the show to be so hippie today.
So hippie? Well, and look at me, like I'm all dressed up too, right?
Yeah, you look fancy today.
I'm so fancy. Okay, so air quality.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about a statistic I read? This is becoming the Cindy Interviews Mike show. That people say a large percent of people will pay more for a house that you can say has better indoor air quality. What do you think?
I don't know.
I know. It said 80% people will pay more.
Will pay more?
Do you think?
I don't think. I disagree with that. I don't think most people give a you-know-what. But I could be wrong.
So I don't know. I think the
point. Let me just say this: when I'm showing houses to buyers, I'm not asking them, "What do you think about the air quality in
here? How does it smell in
here?"
That's
just not like. I mean, now obviously on the contrary, like when you do walk into a house and it smells like really bad, then that is the first thing that they notice too. So I guess I could see that, but I couldn't imagine a buyer paying more for a property that has like this ridiculous air filtration system. I don't know. This is kind of new to me, to be honest.
So, and this could be like a national statistic. I have no idea. But to me, I haven't run across a lot of people that they say. Now, granted, doing energy work, when we do those kind of projects, those people are interested in saving energy and they're interested in being comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? And then the economics kind of falls at the end of that because it's the comfort and things like that and the efficiency. So, but the indoor air quality is really just if you have sensitivities, you know, like respiratory issues, allergies, asthma, you know, things like that. That's when people are asking for that. So I was a little bit surprised by it. That's why I wanted to ask you. I
think where it really comes up is like if there's on the termite report or pest, I should call it the pest report, if there's, because it's not just about termites, it's a wood destroying organisms and report. So
which are termites.
Well, that but wood destroying organisms also can include mold and whatnot.
That's true. Yeah.
So for people that do have immune issues or respiratory problems, if there's mold in the house and it could be really bad for them.
Do you want to, so here's a quick story, which is totally going to make us go overtime, but whatever. So
we're on a podcast. We do what we want.
All right. Awesome, Howard.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm working with this gal, and she has an Aaron Green house, which if you're a fan of mid-century modern, that's a well-known architect who, like Aaron Green, designed. Basically, if we told Aaron Green or any of his descendants that we were remodeling the house, that basically he'd be like, no, it's my house, and it's going to be the way I want it. But anyway, she bought this house, and it has a flat roof, and it had no insulation. So at some point, somebody put in foam insulation, and then they put wood paneling. And it's been up there for years. And she wanted to take it down, and we wanted to see if it had the original wood planks, which is a nice feature for those homes, right? So we were doing some surgery, and we pulled it down, and we pulled a piece down in the bedroom. It was totally fine. We're like, cool, the planks are there. It's awesome. And it was big. It's like 4 to 5 inches of foam. And then we pulled down a big piece in the living room, and all of a sudden everybody went, oh. There was a leak in there, and it was filled with mold.
Yeah.
that nobody had known. And the thing about mold is you don't know until you find out there's mold that could be why you were having some issues.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't.
So it is something that it's silent but
deadly.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I just had something I was going to say about that.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping you'd run into that joke.
Yeah. So anyway, we digress. But health and the air quality of the home seems to be something that people are looking at.
Good.
So, I think, too, part of it's your insurance, like with moisture and mold and more codes and things like, humidistats in your bathroom fans. So I don't know if you've run across that, but it's code now that with your fans, there's a built-in humidistat, so it detects any kind of humidity in the room, and it runs at a low level all the time. And then when it senses humidity, you can hear it rev up. I mean, you have to listen really carefully because they're really quiet. But
good.
So that takes care of that.
Good. So, let's get in one more before we take a quick break.
All right. So daylight design, which has been, you and I talked a little bit before the show. Like a lot of these things are things that started, when you're saying hippy dippy, they started coming into fad, right? 12, 15, almost 20 years ago when the green movement really started, the cradle to cradle, the low VOC, all of that's becoming sort of mainstream. So now it's really focusing on how to bring daylight in. So if we're working on a house that has a basement. So how do you use light well, and to whitewash the room and bring in natural sunlight? So it's about bringing in as much daylight as possible, just because they find that people are more productive when they're exposed to natural light.
Yeah.
So and that's good for your kids, your family, for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a design feature, and then of course the universal design, which is for the aging in place. So blocking for grab bars, wider hallways, zero threshold showers, which those are super popular anyways.
Yeah.
They're kind of a more modern look with the long drains and the water draining in there. So those are some of the things from a design standpoint, the building design. The other thing is, of course, the smart home.
Yeah, well, let's get into that after the break.
Sounds good.
There you go. Very nice. All right, we're going to take a quick break. You can always, you're listening to Mike D'Ambrosio on Real Estate Radio Live. Cindy Carey from Starburst Construction is on. We're talking 2017 trends. You can email me, Mike at reradiolive.com, or you can text questions into 408-630-0101. You check out our blog at reradiolive.com. Stick around. We'll be right back after this quick break.
For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's topic or guests, just visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back. This is Mike D'Ambrosio on Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series. Cindy Carey with Starburst Construction is in the studio today, and we are talking about 2017 trends. If you want to reach out, you go to reradiolive.com, or you can email me, Mike at reradiolive.com, or text in questions, 408-630-0101. You can download all of our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, or our website, and make sure you download our app, too, on your phone. That's the RE Radio Live app in the iTunes store. Did I get everything?
That was really good.
I think I finished it all. All right, good.
That was good.
Okay, so let's go back into what we're talking about today, Cindy. We started off, we talked about 2017 trends, healthy homes, daylight design, and universal design. Is there anything you wanted to finish up on the universal design that we didn't touch on?
So I think that's pretty. I think people have heard that term enough.
Yeah.
That they know what it is. That it's built for all age groups.
What are your thoughts on? Not sorry to interrupt you, but what are your thoughts on single level? Are you seeing a lot more? If you can fit it into a lot, what are your thoughts on people wanting single level versus two or multi-level? I can tell you from my perspective, but what are your thoughts from a contractor's point of view?
Well, I'm anxious to hear what your perspective is.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So we're working with another client who they own a 2-story home, and they bought in Saratoga a house to rent out that's one level so that they can move into it when they need to.
Yeah. And are they in the baby boomer classification or?
I'm not a good judge.
Okay.
But I would say they're in the baby boom.
They're aging.
They're older
they're aging
than I am.
gracefully.
Yes, they're older than I am.
Okay. So
they're probably
from a real estate perspective, it kind of depends on the client, but for the most part, I think people prefer single level over multi-level.
Do you think in general everybody prefers a single level?
No, I wouldn't say. I don't know if I would say that because I don't know if you drive around neighborhoods.
There's a ton.
There's a ton of multi-level.
See, I've always lived in a single-story house. Always.
Yeah.
I love that look.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to build a house, it would be a sprawled-out ranch style. I love that.
Well, so again, people that listen to this podcast, we have people listening all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So where we live in Silicon Valley, there's not a lot of land. So
True.
When they build these houses, all of the new housing, I don't care. I'll go out there and say, I guarantee all of the new housing in Silicon Valley is going to be multi-level and even 3 to 4 levels.
Absolutely.
Most of the new construction is...
We're doing a basement.
Yeah, or a garage below.
Mm-hmm.
Then you walk up. There's the main living area. You walk up again. There's more.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the townhouses, condos, or even single-family homes are 3 to 4 levels now.
Or the mixed use.
And mixed use, right.
Yeah.
So, but I think if you're looking across the country where there's more room to build...
Sure.
I think most people would prefer probably a single-level home. And
so I think that from a construction standpoint, to answer your question, that in Silicon Valley, if people can afford to do like this couple's doing, where they are able to buy another residence, maybe even if they needed to sell their residence and move into it because they're anticipating getting older, something like that. If they can't do that, what we have seen and what we've done is converted rooms downstairs.
Okay.
To either a handicap access.
Yeah.
Or so widening the walkways. In one instance, actually lowering appliances in the kitchen because the person became wheelchair bound.
Okay.
I don't know if I told you that story. It's a fellow who he had multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
And they had a 2-story house, and literally he went from cane to walker. He went into the wheelchair the day after we finished.
Okay.
So I was building ramps for his new handicap access van,
right?
A desk for him to use for a workbench and work, the shower and the potty, the whole thing and everything, widening ramps, hardwood floor ramps, because they wanted their house to look nice, but it needed to accommodate the wheelchair. So I think
I've even
that's
showed
what we're
property
doing.
with like lower kitchen countertops and that type of thing, so they could cook and So good. Okay.
So I think people are making allowances. They're doing what they have to do when they get to that point.
Right.
So
okay.
So
So switching gears a little bit, did you want to get into the smart?
I do. I want to be smart.
Do you want? Yeah, me too. It's funny how that works.
I want to be smart, man.
Okay.
I want to be like Siri and what is it, Alexa?
Yes.
Right. So this is.
So don't talk the rest of the show like that. But if you want to be like, so what is smart everything? This is in your notes. So
okay.
that's what I'm just reading.
So smart everything is. Do you have a Nest?
Yes.
Do you have automated sprinklers?
Yes.
Do you have lights that go on? He probably doesn't. Lights that go on in your bathroom when you're not in there?
I have a fan that I can time.
Okay.
I have a timer fan.
But you don't have an occupancy sensor, which is code now.
No, I don't have that.
But if you have remodeled your bathroom within the last couple of years, you do have an occupancy sensor in your bathroom.
I have a light I can turn on through my alarm app.
Oh. See, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
What about a sound system that you can, like, blast wherever you want to in the house?
I don't have that.
In the backyard?
I have, no.
Okay. He's halfway smart.
Thanks.
I'm just kidding. So, but those are all the things, right? Controlling your heater. You can control your heater through your Nest, right?
See, but I want to talk about that whole smart thing because it's great to be smart.
Right.
But
do you want your house to be smarter than you?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. But what I'm saying is my ducting, so for the Nest, for example, right? You can put a Nest on your home, but it's kind of like putting lipstick on a pig if you don't update the other components of the system.
Did you steal that from me? When I speak for PG&E for Energy Upgrade, I say you can put solar on a house, but if you don't seal it
Yeah.
first, it's like putting a sexy nightgown on a pig.
Okay. That's a good one, too.
Right.
I like that.
So I think that's what you're getting at, though. Your ducks aren't sealed, right?
Well, my ducks are old, and they're not up to par.
Well,
so now I have this nest, and my wife and I kid ourselves by thinking we're like saving energy, which maybe we're saving a little bit by going off and on, and we get the little green leaf in our report card and all this other crap. But I mean, really, at the end of the day, you're losing more energy probably in your ducting that's old and missing insulation and that type of thing.
The amount of energy that an average home loses is the size of a bedroom window being left open all day long, every day.
That's crazy.
Through just normal leakage from, like you were saying, Rania, the weather stripping, right? So not having doors and windows sealed properly, through your ductwork not being sealed properly. So that is part of, actually, the 2017 trends that are going on.
Yeah.
Is still the energy upgrade improvements. And your ducts probably are leaking. But, you know, having the smart, I mean, you have to start somewhere.
Right. Okay, so let's go. We kind of got off track.
That's
let's
okay,
go back
we'll go back there.
But it's still cool to have other smart components of your house that don't require energy efficiency.
Well, we talked about here before, right? There's the new countertop that will charge your phone.
Yeah.
So there's a new refrigerator that has a screen so you can actually look in there. You know, like when your kids are asking you what there is to eat.
Yeah.
You don't have to open and close the fridge. Like they can actually see in and see what's there. And then there's a compartment that opens that's separate for the items that you use more often.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that.
So, I mean, they're really...
do you know what brand? Can you think off the top of my mind what brand makes that?
I think I want to say it's
Samsung?
LG.
Okay, it's LG.
I think it's LG. Yeah. Because I think I might have brought a picture of it too. But so the whole thing with this virtual assistant type of thing is the big Consumer Electronics Show always is in January in Las Vegas. So it'll be the first of the year. And supposedly Google, like a month ago, and made this big announcement that they're going to be introducing something of that variety. So that should be a big announcement that comes out of that show.
Interesting.
So, so pay attention for that. So, and I'm not sure, you know, if it's going to be like your little vacuum. Hey, do you have the robot vacuum cleaner?
No, but I think we're going to get one now that we have 2 dogs.
See,
so
well,
the hair is doubled on the hardwood.
Yeah. So that's being smart.
Yeah.
So anyways, I mean, maybe, I don't know if it's going to be like, you know, Rosie from the Jetsons. Was that her name? Right? Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to be like that kind of assistant, right? But, you know, from what we've seen on TV and that, it's going to be, I would imagine it's going to be turn my heater on.
Right.
You know, turn it down. I don't think it'll be, open and close my shades.
Yeah.
Turn on and off my lights.
Yeah, our friend Larry could probably put those into your house.
Do you turn the oven on?
Right.
You know, there's already stuff that does that.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's just going to continue to get more and more and more. So, I mean, is it worth it?
I guess it just depends on how much automation you want to have in your home. And then also from an energy efficiency standpoint, I guess the takeaway from this is it's great to have some of these nice gadgets, but you got to fix this system. You got to make sure the system itself can support it, right?
So that's a whole story, and that's a whole show in itself, Mike. That's like my baby, right? That's energy efficiency. So yes, I mean, you're preaching to the choir now. Like we need to take care of the whole. You need to seal everything up and take care of the foundation, which unfortunately is like the underwear. I mean, and nobody really likes to get new underwear. Like nobody sees the underwear, right? You don't see. You don't see the can lights that are leaking. You don't see that stuff, right? You see the sexy solar panels and the cool new sofa and the refrigerator with the screen.
So many analogies running through my head right now. But let's
move on from the underwear.
Let's do this. We have like a minute left. Let's talk about the kitchen really quick, and then why don't we take the rest of these notes and do part 2 for next week after Christmas. Let's just do that right for today. So let's talk about the kitchen, and then we'll wrap up today's podcast, and then tune in next week. It'll be Tuesday the 27th for part 2 of Cindy Carey.
What about Monday?
Monday the 26th. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So it's my grandson's birthday on
Monday the 26th. It'll be this. So part 2 of this podcast will be Monday the 26th, and we'll get into the rest of Cindy Carey's notes from today for 2017 trends. So, with that being said, let's wrap up with the kitchen.
Kind of no-brainer. It's the kitchen. It's the same. I mean, have you seen any difference? People still like it open. People still, though there has been a little bit of segmenting off some living space. I mean, some people have, or maybe bigger fans and things like that, because people have started to, like, smells travel and things like that.
Right.
So, but for the most part, people still like the open floor plan.
Okay.
Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's going to be, it's going to be that way for a long time to come.
No, I think so.
I don't ever really see it changing.
No, I'm having like 26 or something, for the holiday. And with my room, I can just...
Yeah, absolutely.
Move the sofa, roll up the carpet, and put out the tables.
I honestly don't understand what the reasoning was behind the old style homes that were really compartmentalized.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the reasoning behind that? Because it just didn't make any sense.
Right.
Unless the reasoning was that they figured it was becoming an open, and it was the contractors scheming against us homeowners. So they knew they were going to get remodeling jobs down the road to open up these houses or something like that.
I think it was because they thought it was more like you were waited on.
Okay.
Like the cook was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then you ate in the dining room.
Right.
So it's like you didn't want to see that.
Yeah. For everyone's maid that they had, right?
And the kids, you didn't want to see them.
Yeah, well that's probably similar to today. But okay, well good. Open kitchens. I mean, if you got anything from today's podcast, if you are remodeling or you're looking at homes, open kitchens, that's
no-brainer.
That's what every buyer looks for.
Yep.
That's what everyone remodeling the kitchen pretty much does, I would guess.
And I would say, and if you can have some sort of the smart technologies, good appliances in your kitchen, that's really going to make, as far as if you're remodeling or, looking to sell or whatnot, that's going to make a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Cindy. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Cindy Carey with Starburst Construction. So that's part 1. We're going to do part 2 on Monday, December 26th. So the day after Christmas, you can make sure you get a late Christmas gift. You can download part 2 of this podcast with Cindy Carey with Starburst Construction. And so thanks for tuning in. I'm Mike D'Ambrosio. This is Real Estate Radio Live. For all things Real Estate Radio Live, you can go to reradiolive.com. You can always reach out to me, Mike, at reradiolive.com. And you can go to my website. That's www.mikedsells.com. That's mikedsells.com. Or on social media, facebook.com/MikeDRealEstate. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Take care. We'll see you soon.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Discover more at reradiolive.com.